So do you have what it takes to compete in one of the toughest obstacle courses in the world? I'm talking about the Tough Mudder, a 10 to 12-mile military-style obstacle course that challenges your strength, stamina, and camaraderie. To date, more than 1 million competitors have taken on the challenging course. And right now, I am happy and honored to speak with retired Army Colonel Joe Adams, who can tell us more about the Tough Mudder. Colonel Adams, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with me today.
Good to be here, Laura.
Great. All right, Colonel, first of all, for those who might not know too much about it, can you tell us about the Tough Mudder and what participants can expect?
Yeah, Laura, you kind of hit some of the high points. So the average location, the average course is 10 to 12 miles, and there's 22 to 26 military-style, very challenging obstacles. On an average Saturday, it varies from location to location. Mudder will put 10,000 people through the course.
Wow.
And they launch folks out onto the course in 400-person waves. And they do a really good job as far as managing the number of folks that they have on the course because, what's important to know about Mudder is it's not a race. It's not, like some of the other adventure races and events that are out there. The concept and the foundation of Mudder is built around the team. You always see folks out there operating as a 2, 3, 4-person team. And that's different. That's not what a lot of the other events are out there are they're not built that way. And so that was really the initial hook for the Army, for us, the Army Reserve, because it's not first place, it's not last place. It's no kidding. Start with your team, get through these really difficult obstacles as a team, and finish as a team. And that's, we've been partnered with Mudder for 3 years now. And that was the initial hook for us that really, separated them from a lot of the other events out there.
Absolutely. So, which kind of brings me to my next question. You kind of just touched on it, but, how is this really kind of similar to the Army training that you've been through and experienced? It sounds like, again, the whole concept of teamwork is what makes this so different.
Yeah, the teamwork piece is really sets them apart. But, I don't want folks to think that, this isn't Ranger School. It's not a 72-day Army training course. But it is really a team-building event. So the concept of team is really what was the initial attraction for us, and there's just nobody else there that does it like Mudder does, because everybody else has it built around a competition. So we like to compete, but the teamwork aspect is something that kind of overrides everything else.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, in addition to the teamwork, you mentioned we talked about this is 10 to 12 miles. It is an obstacle course. It's a little intense. So, what kind of tips might you be able to offer for people who are preparing for something like this?
So first and foremost, preparation, and it's don't fall out of bed on a Saturday morning and decide you're going to go do a Mudder.
Right.
Bad place to start. And I was just looking at your website, and you have some really good tips on there, but the key part is preparation, and it's literally 8 to 10 weeks, and you're going to be functioning as a team on the course, so probably a good idea to train as a team. Right. And I know you're familiar with the CrossFit world. The CrossFit components fit really well into everything that's Tough Mudder, and because the majority of the obstacles out there are built around upper body strength and flexibility. Lots of water, lots of pull-ups, lots of moving your own body weight. So the CrossFit world and, pull-ups and Olympic lifts and just kettlebell, everything that, the CrossFit world is built on translates really well into participating in a Mudder.
Okay, good to know. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't actually competed in a Tough Mudder myself yet or been a part of it. Something I've always thought about. So you just gave some great tips in general, but any special advice maybe for first-timers who might be, thinking about doing this, who have signed up and are starting to work with their team?
Yeah, so, again, I go back to preparation, 8 to 10 weeks. Emphasizing all those upper body movements, rope climbs, pull-ups, functional movements, but right. Generally things that people don't do unless you're melded into the CrossFit world. And then, equipment that folks need to have. You need to have knee sleeves, elbow sleeves. The shoes that you wear should be cross trainers, not your best running shoes, because half the obstacles are water and mud. So whatever shoes you wear, you're probably going to want to donate at the end of a Mudder.
That absolutely makes sense. And, kind of to round things out here, it sounds like a great event on something, again, really based on teamwork and endurance. But, what would you say is the importance of this race for civilians as well as for soldiers?
Yeah, so Laura, our hook was, into Mudder specifically was the whole teamwork thing, but we also bring 35 reserve soldiers to every Mudder that we sponsor from that community. And so we'll have them all over the course and, hand out the headbands at the finish line. They're at the start line. We have our own obstacles, so we'll have all our guys out there. So, beyond the teamwork and camaraderie, it's just this huge opportunity for the American public to connect with our soldiers. Because, what you see on Fox and CNN is one thing. Who these folks are is something different. So absolutely enormous for us to have these opportunities for local soldiers, living, working, and serving in those communities to be a part of those events and have folks also gain some awareness as far as other opportunities in the Army Reserve in that community.
Fabulous. Sounds like a great way for everyone to get out there and know their soldiers, like you said. Absolutely. And, Colonel, if people would like some more information, maybe find out about upcoming races, is there a website or somewhere we can go for that?
Yes, ma'am. I'd start with toughmudder.com and goarmyreserve.com. Both good places to start.
All right. Well, fantastic. Well, I know I'll be checking it out. Like I said, it's something I've been curious about for a while, and I think you've inspired some of my fans here to get out to the gym and think about starting to train. So, Colonel Adams, it was wonderful to speak with you. Thanks for the time.
Hey, Laura, one last shout-out if I could, because we got two more events this season that are Army-sponsored Mudders. 31 October this weekend in Temecula, California, and the last one is 7-8 November in Palm Bay, Florida.
All right, so time to really get out there and think about doing it. And if you can't do it, maybe get out there and be a spectator, right, and meet some of the soldiers, like you said.
Absolutely.
All right, fantastic. Well, Colonel, again, thanks for your time, and more importantly, thank you for your service and everything that you continue to do for our country.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity.
Sure. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.